guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. A great big shout out to my channel members for supporting my channel. Thank you. All right, so in this next installment of my Hobonichi Weeks Wednesday video, we're going to be setting up the current week. It is actually currently Monday, April 3rd. I do have today and tomorrow off, potentially Wednesday, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. This is my Moterm cover. I did pick it up from Amazon, but the last time I looked, they didn't have anything in stock. So if you are looking for a cover, you can check out AliExpress. I think Moterm does some contracting with them. I have my Hobonichi Weeks in the one-piece English edition. Just like always, I will be using my stamp for a little bit of a mood tracker. That's not a stamp, that is a stencil that my friend Christy of Christy Marie Designs had sent to me. I'm going to take this out and we'll get started. I did do a little bit of setup. The color scheme for this week, as I mentioned last week, is inspired by a comment that Doodle Robot had left that minimal can also mean minimal colors. So we're just doing black and gray. I'm going to use mild liners today, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have two different gray mild liners because I typically buy them in sets of like 5 and they come out with new colors, and one definitely seems warmer than the other, so we're going to use both of these because I don't swatch, so I have no idea how this is going to look. And it's an interesting week for me because again, it's the 3rd. I'm on vacation here and here. Friday is a holiday. Wednesday I may or may not be in the office. They're doing some drills on campus. So one is in case of a tsunami, we are to locate to a safe zone, which is clear across campus, probably several blocks away because the campus is kind of spread out. I do work on a college campus. And then we're doing not first-person shooter, that's not the right terminology, but we're doing in case there's a shooter on campus, which blows my mind that that's something that you drill for, but I know little kids do, so okay. And that's on another part of campus, and with my joints being what they are, I don't know that I can handle all of that walking and then walking back to the office. So I'm checking with my boss. In the case of the tsunami, if it happens locally, like if there's an earthquake on the big island of Hawaii, because there's several islands that make up the island chain, then there actually won't be a lot of notice if there is a tsunami warning. If it's an earthquake that happens either on the west coast of the US or on the coast of Asia, because again, we're right in the middle of the Pacific, there will be a little bit of warning there. Our school isn't super close to the ocean, but I mean, we're near it unless you're in the central part of the island. You're on an island, so depending on how bad the flooding can be, I get it, but yeah, just for doing it for drill's sake, I'm not sure. My boss is checking if I can just stay in my office. I think she might do the same because she's also having some medical issues, but until I get word either way, I'll either take an extra day off or I'll go into the office and sit in my office. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I just realized I should have taken my nails off. I painted them for the conference last week and they're already starting to chip, but whatever, this is real life. So while I'm actually just doing just a little bit of deco, I wanted to talk to you guys about the conference. I will be ending the video with what I ate in the office last week, but I'll insert some pictures from the conference just because I didn't do any video there, because yeah, I definitely was not going to talk through while I was sitting on a table of 10. So the first picture I'm showing you here is the courtyard of where we were having the conference. And I've actually been there once before. The last time we had a conference was actually at that location. It's really near my house, and that was probably the #1 reason why I decided to go, because otherwise I would have just said no. The next picture is what we had for lunch. And it was a hot lunch. So usually at these multiple day conferences, you'll get a continental breakfast, which I didn't take a picture of. It was just some pastries and fruit, and then a hot lunch. And then the next day, which it was a hot breakfast, and then build your own sandwich bar for lunch. So for the lunch on the first day, I wasn't impressed because the main entree, at least what I considered the main entree, was beef. Now, I love beef. However, I cannot handle pink beef. Mine has to be dead, and then kill it some more. That's how I eat my beef. That's why I prefer ground beef over actual steak. And if you're gonna make me steak, then unless you're making it the way I eat it, I won't eat it. So I had some rice, some oyster chicken. It was chicken thighs. Not a big fan of chicken thighs. Considering my size, there's quite a bit of food I don't like. But what I do like, I like a lot. And then they had a tofu dish, I guess, for the vegetarians. But the pasta and the Caesar salad was really good. So I didn't eat much for lunch. But afterwards, we went to Panda's. That was already on the schedule for my family. And then I just had an early dinner. I think we were eating dinner by like 4 something because my conference ended around 3:45. Now the conference was just as horrible as I thought, and more so because the keynote speaker, who was very much an extrovert and acknowledged that, made kind of a point of saying, you know, if you're an introvert, this little session, because there's like this 5-minute interactive session, that she made a point of saying, if you're an introvert, this is probably going to kill you, but don't worry about it because who cares? And that's not exactly what she said, but she kind of minimalized that. And that ramped up my anxiety. I didn't want to be in a group full of people. Some people I've never met. It was a table of 10. There were 9 tables. There was just, I haven't even eaten in a restaurant. Any kind of fast food we've done, it has been takeout since the pandemic started. And so my anxiety was through the roof. And so I was near tears. So basically I just walked out, sat outside in the courtyard for a little while, and then came back. And her whole speech was of the inspirational, motivational variety. And you guys know that's not something that I am into or that even speaks to me. And it was just, it seemed so self-serving. She was really pushing her podcast, and I just, yeah, it was one of those 2-hour things you just know you got to get through. I was a grumpy Gus that entire day because that basically was the first session, and I was just in a very, I don't even want to say I was in a bad mood. I felt so overwhelmed and stressed. And most of the people there seemed to be of the extroverted variety, where they want to mingle and they haven't seen each other for years. I had to tell several people, I'm sorry, I don't hug. And I used to be a very big hugger. But I haven't seen you. And even though I'm wearing a mask, you know, just stay away from me. So yeah, it was very off-putting. My coworker was laughing because, you know, I was very stay away from me, and my face said it, even when my words didn't. The next day was better. And so for breakfast, it was a hot breakfast, and it was lovely. It had rice, and it had bacon and eggs and Portuguese sausage. And so I was happy, happy, happy. And then lunch was a build your own sandwich. And I thought that was good too. So I made it a little bit more than I would have, but you know, why not? The sessions were what I anticipated. We had some good from the feds, because again, I do work on a college campus, and so there were some good sessions there. Overall, I almost wished, as bad as I was feeling that first day, that I'd actually gone into the office. Now, mind you, literally 10 minutes away from my house. So that really was the only saving grace, that and the buffet with the bacon and the Portuguese sausage. But otherwise, both days I went home with a really bad headache. And I don't know if it was because all of my stress was just sitting in my shoulders, if it was because I chose to sit in the back of the room and the way that the screen was. I don't know what it was. But Friday night, I got home by like 3:30 because it finished early that day. And I had to just unwind for a little bit. And then I took a nap, like a 4 or 5 hour nap. And I know for some people that's not a nap. that's sleeping. But my neck and my head were just killing me. So I'm glad it's over, but it was quite tedious for me. And they're going to have it again. And in fact, they're probably going to resume the annual conference. There might actually be another conference the feds will do or will come to later in the year. And I'm really going to have to figure out whether or not I want to attend. With everything with the pandemic, if the feds or some of the regional or national associations are putting it together, they do actually offer both in-person and virtual sessions. And more often than not, people who are giving presentations in these things are literally reading everything off the PowerPoint presentation. There is no deviance. It's basically their script. And I don't need to be in person for someone to read to me. So if that's the case, because there's quite a bit that's coming up in the next couple of award years that we need to be aware of. So it's good information to have. I just don't know the methodology in which I want to consume it. Is that how you'd say that? But anything that is required for in-person, I really will need to just really have a sit down and say, okay, is that going to be worth it? Because seriously, that morning, my anxiety, guys, I didn't have a panic attack, but I felt like it was close. And anytime I feel I have to get to a bathroom, just in case I need to cry, that's not a good place to be for anyone. So, yeah. So did I get anything useful out of it? I mean, other than the bacon and the Portuguese sausage, which I have at home, but I'd have to cook myself. Nah, I don't think so. Again, I could have read the PowerPoint presentation on my own, but it's done. Okay, so again, I'm not sure if I'm in the office that day, but I'm just going to plan that I will be. I won't be working any overtime the Easter weekend, just because it makes it weird working overtime when there's a holiday. Plus, I've already taken some vacation this week. I put my quote, word, and thoughts, and then down here, I'm going to put notes, because next week will be a full-on work week. In fact, the next holiday isn't until the end of May for Memorial Day, so I'll probably need to look at a calendar and take some days before the semester ends, because once the semester ends, up and through October, it's actually busy for me. And so that's notes. Again, I don't need to do anything for overtime. If you are new here, I do my completed tasks anytime in the office. I will look to see what the scheduled lunches and breakfast for the 2 days I'm scheduled to be in the office, and this will actually be what I've eaten. And I like to see this because it helps me feel productive and motivated. And like I said, the color palette was based off of a comment that Doodle Robot had said. I used some grays and I could add some bullets and whatnot, but honestly, I'm not feeling that. I think this will look good, and once I add the text to the page, we'll be good. I do have a gray mild liner at work. I couldn't tell you which one it was, the cooler one or the warmer one. There isn't much difference that I see, and it could be because the paper is a bit yellow, but it doesn't matter because I've used both of them. If I do use bullets here, or if I do use bullets here, it's still going to tie in, and predominantly what you're going to see is black. So for last week, I actually made a mistake. I should have done it as soon as I had finished doing the setup and filming with you guys. I didn't pull a tarot card Monday. I only actually pull a tarot card on a regular work day. So I did pull it here at home on Thursday and Friday before I left for the conference. I had 2 days in the office, holiday, and then conference to end the week. There are some things I need to do at the very least on Thursday or Wednesday. Again, I don't know when exactly I'm in the office. And I did do a tarot pull. Oh, I guess I could do that here. And I'll just pull a blotter since I can still see that's wet. The word for the week was Bildungsroman. It is a German word, and it's a combination of two German words, which is Bildung, which means education, and Roman, which is novel. And basically, it's a novel about the moral and psychological growth of the main character. Yeah, I get that into my inbox from Merriam-Webster. I'm like, I've never seen that word, ever. Cool, let me write that one down. And then the quote was, I don't have the energy to pretend to like you today. And I actually wrote that at the conference. So if I've done this correctly, I've shown you pictures from the conference and what it's for. 3 meals in the courtyard. And now I'm going to go ahead and insert footage for what I ate, I guess, for these 2 days right here. So it's not going to be much longer. And next week, we're going to go back to stickers. I love the look of the Minimalist March, where it was just pen only. I mean, look how fun that is, right? But I miss my stickers and my washi. I do. Because, I mean, look how fun that is. So, yeah, we're going to definitely go back to using stickers. And, I mean, it's mine. I can do what I want. So if I decide, I don't want to have to choose anything, I'll go ahead and just do pen only. I know that I'm going to like it. Oh, I didn't write down the tarot pull. Well, I'll figure that off camera and you'll see it next week. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me for now. I'd love to know what you guys are doing for this Good Friday weekend, whether you celebrate or not. I get the day off, so I'll be eating not meat. It's the only day of the year where we don't eat meat. We're not Catholic, but my mother's grandmother was, and so we just follow that tradition, and we have my entire life, so we're just going to continue that. We'll probably dye some eggs. I think we're having ham for Easter, and it's going to be a really chill weekend, I think. I'd love to know what you guys' plans are in the comments below. All right, well, that's it for me for now, and as always, aloha. Hi guys, lunch for today, Tuesday, March 28th. Yesterday was a holiday, so I didn't work. Is just basically a container of leftovers. So on Saturday night, we had some rice and some fried potatoes, and I don't even remember what with. And then yesterday we had brunch, so there's some a couple of pieces of Vienna sausage, a couple of pieces of Portuguese sausage, and Spam. I added some cheese because the potatoes needed some flavor. I've got a banana that's clearly quite ripe. I've got a banana pudding. Never had that before, so we'll see how that is. Breakfast, I had a turkey sandwich and water. Coffee midday. That's it for today. I'm probably not going to eat all the rice, but again, I was just taking a bunch of leftovers, so clear the fridge, right? Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hi guys, lunch for today, Wednesday, March 29th, is a Costco hot dog. Actually had Costco last night, so I brought a hot dog to work. I've got a side salad with some wonton strips, a ton of relish, sweet relish for the hot dog. I've got ketchup and mustard off to the side, and then some original Pietro's dressing. It's like a shoyu miso sesame dressing. That's lunch for today. Breakfast, I had a turkey sandwich and water and coffee midday. That's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.